Right then guys, Friday's video then. So I'm gonna tell you straight away, I feel so good for doing these scheduled posts because it's keeping me accountable. I've got a battle plan, and when you do it, when you stick into the plan you've set and achieving stuff you want to achieve, you feel instantly better. So shooting this video right now is making me feel great, and that's a little tip. Every time you get that sense of achievement, you get a little natural high, and that's what can pick you up and keep you motivated. So always set these mini goals and mini expectations of yourself, and then when you achieve them you feel great. So anyway, on to today's video. I really need to get better at my vocabulary and also my speaking because I get quite excited when I talk, you see, so I stumble on my own words. But today's video is basically going to be based on shopping, right? I'm going to go into Tesco, which is my local supermarket, and I'm going to go see what I can go buy for about 25-30 quid. I'm striving for 25 quid. I'm going to go and pretend I'm a student, which I have been before, and I'm going to go see what I can buy for a week's worth of food. So for an average guy, so for me, and obviously if you're a girl, it's going to be even easier in some respect because you have to consume less calories. So I'm going to aim for about a 2,500 calorie diet, so 2,500. And if you're bulking, I'll tell you now, you just have a bit more quantity of the food, and you're going to be blown away. But when I show you what you can actually get away with buying, and we'll talk about it when I get home. But all I'm going to say is, when you go shopping, you really want to be thinking about 4 things, really, in my opinion. Where's your protein at, and where's it coming from? So you go into the supermarket and you're like, right, let's go look at the protein first. I need to get this, and this for my protein intake. I then need to go look at my fat intake and my carbohydrate intake. Also paying attention to your fibre intake when you're choosing your carbohydrate sources. And also then you want to pay attention to your vitamins and mineral sources, so your micronutrients as well as your macros. So obviously I'm going to go for some frozen berries, probably some source of veggies and stuff like that. So that's my battle plan, and it's going to be strictly healthy. I know obviously some people might pepper in a few little treats here and there, but the whole point is to show you, if you were sticking to a really healthy diet, what would you go and buy and what could you buy, okay? So it's going to give you a load of ideas, and without further ado, let's get into Tesco. Right then guys, so back at the house, and look how much food I've got. Honestly, absolute steal. All of this was absolute bargains. I've never consciously gone around and like tried to cheap shop, but this has just opened my eyes up to how cheap you can actually eat healthily. And I've overspent slightly. I'm about 33 quid spent, but I did that because I wanted to just demonstrate other options you could buy. I mean, I could have easily have done it under 30 quid if I tried. And also I've decided I wanted more fresh vegetables because I prefer the taste of them. And if you're trying to be really cheap, you could have just got hardly any of this fresh veg and just opted for frozen veggies or a frozen mixed bag of veg, which would literally cost you about £1 for like over a kilo. So this is like, honestly, this is going to open your eyes up, and I'm going to go through it now. I've categorised everything, as you can see, or probably won't be able to see, but I've got the carbohydrates here. I've got all the vegetables and stuff like that, with micronutrient dense stuff there with vitamins, minerals. I've got the fat sources, and I've got all the protein sources here, and obviously some of them combined in 2 categories, so I've put them near each other. But I'm going to go through everything quickly, and I'm going to show you the prices of everything, and I'm going to explain briefly why I have spent and done what I've done. So I'm just going to show you as well for evidence. It cost precisely £32.79p for all of this food. So just so you can get a massive overview of it all. So I get the camera into focus. There is tons of food here, guys. I mean, if you're a female, this would last you probably over a week. And there's a good variety of food as well for just over 30 quid, in my opinion. And like I said, I could have done this a lot cheaper if I'd wanted to. I might even do a super cheap shopping video one day, but this is like a cheap shopping video, or in my eyes, this is what I would do anyway. So as you can see, tons of food. So let's get started on the prices. So, right then, tortillas. Again, here we go. So a prime example. Do I need these? I could have gone for a cheaper option if I'm honest. These were 90p. Stuff like the rice and the pasta and stuff like that is a lot cheaper. And in fact, 2 secs, I've left the pasta. Oh no, I haven't. The pasta's right there. I thought I'd left it in the car. Jesus. So anyway, so the wraps, basically, I think they're really convenient and they're worth having on your list because they're so fast to make, and you can also make a few breakfast pizzas out of them, which are really nice with the ingredients I bought today. So again, really good choice. And the pasta, again, obviously we don't need to go into details. So super simple, and it only cost, the pasta only cost 40p, I think it was. I'm just gonna double check, I didn't write that one down on here. Sorry guys, it's gonna be a bit spontaneous, this video, a bit all over the place because I've got so much to show you, but the pasta, £20p the pasta cost. This is with 20p for a kilo. You can't get cheaper than that, honestly, for food and carbohydrates. Per 100 gram, you're looking at 350 calories, per serving like 260, and you're getting like per serving about 54 grams of carbs. Absolute super steal, 20p. Same with the rice, that was only 40p. And the oats, this was 75p. These three, honestly, if you're on a super cheap budget, these three would be my go-to carbohydrates. Also, you can get cornflakes, which I didn't pick up today, which are super cheap. You can get them for literally like 20p, kilo worth. Again, like I said, this wasn't even the cheapest shop I could have done. Bread at the top, again, all the carbohydrates we're going through first. 50p for a nice good stack, and it's thick wedge, so you wouldn't need as much of it as well. You've got the Weetabix biscuits, 75p for 24. A lot cheaper than your Weetabix brand, which would be like nearly £3, and there's no difference whatsoever. Bananas. So you're getting 5 bananas here for 80p, bargain, and one of your 5 a day, and you're getting a lot of fibre from there. Now these little bad boys, you put them in your porridge or just eat them as a snack for carbs. Real cheap for the amount of carbs you're going to be getting with them, and they're classified as one of your 5 a day, which is good. Only issue is they're quite high in sugar, so do be careful of that. They've come in at 89p, which I think is an absolute steal for 500 grams. To say per 100 gram, you're looking at nearly 80 carbs per 100 gram, and you're not obviously going to go nowhere near that, so that's a really good one. Honey, 99p for a little cheap honey, really good. Would recommend getting a nice cheap honey for your oats and just maybe a few smoothies if you do them. This one again, they got a yogurt, just gotta like it, and it's a nice sweet treat. Go again in your smoothies and stuff. It's a good carbohydrate and protein source. This cost me literally 95p. The milk, I went for a large one because it's great protein source, dirt cheap protein source, and it's a good carbohydrate source. So if you're on a budget, again, you want to be getting these cheap sources of food and macronutrients. So the milk for 6 pints, which is over nearly 3.5 litres of milk, which is a lot, £1.48, bargain. Again, tuna. I'm going mad. There's a lot of food I've got to get through in a short period of time. So tuna come in at £2.85, bargain. The fromage, and these are obviously protein sources, all of this. So fromage frais, that come in at £1. You know what I love about this is it's a lot of volume and not many calories. Literally, if you're on a diet, 50 calories per 100 gram, and the whole tub contains 40 grams of protein, so that's really good. 500 grams worth that as well, the tub total weight. Eggs, we got per egg container, whatever you want to call it, £1.25. Now, this isn't ideal, but this is the whole point with this. You can't be ideal. You've got to survive basically if you're on a budget, and you've got to do what you've got to do. But caged hens, I don't really agree with. But you know, if you've stuck on money and you've got to get it in, you've got to do what you've got to do at the end of the day. It's survival, so it's not the best ethical thing in my opinion. But £1.25 for 15 eggs, you're laughing for your proteins and fats. Chicken. Now with this, you're gonna get 5 chicken breasts, frozen. Now there's nothing wrong with frozen chicken breasts whatsoever. There's literally nothing, if you look on the ingredients, there's no difference whatsoever. And it's dirt cheap, literally. For a kilo of chicken, it cost me £3.82. That's 76p per chicken breast, right? Absolute steal. So those people, don't buy fresh meat. I wouldn't if I was you, if you're on a budget, because it's gonna cost a lot more. The only fresh meat I've bought is bacon. But yeah, that's another. I'll have to carry on because the battery's running low, so I might have to pause this and re-edit it all together. Peanut butter, okay, normally really expensive, decent, really good fat source. Arguably, it's a bit of protein as well, but I'd call it more of a fat source. That literally cost me, I was blown away by how cheap that was. That was like 65p, bargain. These beans, cans of beans, really good protein source, one of your 5 a day, and a really good fibre source. And to be honest, you're getting a decent amount of carbs as well, a fairly decent amount per 100 gram, 10 grams of carbs, not too bad. They were 55p each. Now we're coming up to the clock, so I'm gonna have to pause it here, and I'm gonna have to edit, merge it all together, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. About that, literally running out of memory on my memory card. So, cheese. Cheese literally cost me, this was quite expensive to be fair, cheeses, but it's so good for your wraps, your eggs, and I love cheese, and it's a great fat source and protein source. So I think it's worth it. £2.50 for your value, and you're getting a kilo or 500 grams of cheese there. So I think that's good, and it's pre-cut, so it's pretty good value. You could probably be cheaper by going and getting a block, but convenience, you know, that's worth some merits. Okay, moving on. So peppers next. Value peppers or reduced peppers, 93p. So you could normally they're about £1.50, but these ones were 93p. So you got to pay attention to different prices, guys, and look at the weight of the food as well. Brown onions, really cheap, 49p, and you're getting tons of them. Really recommend that. Mushrooms, 79p. These were reduced, so again, you've got to pay attention to the reductions and stuff. And I didn't buy anything really reduced. I just thought if they're on sale, I'll buy it, obviously. But I didn't want to use any reductions because that might be unfair, because you might not be able to grab them on a certain day, okay? So so good cheap. These two, absolute definite must be, because they're so cheap, right? Tomatoes. These tomatoes cost me 69p. Again, you're getting probably 6 servings there in my opinion, so that's decent. And coming back down, we've got the cucumber, 45p, good for your salads, sandwiches, and going with your egg meals maybe, just to bulk it up a bit. Could have also got an iceberg lettuce, which I didn't get, but that's another cheap, really cheap little thing to pack a bit of volume into your meals. Really good if you're cutting as well. Puree, that's for my breakfast pizza and stuff like that. Bit of pasta dishes as well, 40p. Again, it does classify technically as a 5 a day, believe it or not. Your carrots, these were stupidly cheap. 29p for a kilo of carrots, and they're so good for your carrots. Honestly, if I was really stuck for money, I'd be literally bagging these. I'd be getting bags of them, and they're fresh as well, which is even more ridiculous to say they're only 29p. Greens as well. These ones are really good. A kilo of greens, which is basically it's like similar to a cabbage. This was 69p, and I was gobsmacked by that because it's such a nutrient-dense source of food. Anything dark green is so good for you, and that's literally, like I said, 69p. Now, again, I didn't have to get this cabbage, but one, I fancied it because I know how good cabbage is for you, but also it's only 69p for a whole cabbage. Again, super cheap and stupidly cheap. And the imperfect berries, again, you know how much I rant about these if you follow me on Instagram. I love this. They're so cheap and they're so good in your porridge and just in your smoothies as well. And these come in at something stupid. What are they? Sorry, 2 seconds. Berries coming at £2.75. Absolute steal for a kilo of mixed berries. So you're getting such condensed nutrient foods for that, and also the antioxidants which contain in this. Ridiculous value. And you literally look on the internet on how good berries are for you. You will be like, I don't even need to tell you. We all know how good they are. So definite must in my opinion, just to help with the sweet tooth as well. And at that price, £2.75, you're laughing for, like I said, a kilo. So there you go, guys. That is it. And like I said, I didn't have to buy half these stuff. I went a bit over the top with the veg, if I'm honest. And again, like I said, the wraps, if I was trying to be really dirt cheap with the carbs, I would have just gone even cheaper and just got literally pasta and rice, because those two were like stupidly cheap. 20p for that. Ridiculous. Now, as you can see, there's a good variety of food there, and you're going to get and I've chosen really healthy, nutrient-dense foods as well, because that's what we're trying to do here, guys. We're trying to get a good balanced diet whilst also having a bit of fun as well, like with your whatever alcohol, chocolate, pepper a bit of that in. But I didn't get any of that today, because one, I was just in a rush, and two, I just wanted to get stuff real quick. Another one you could buy, dark chocolate, really good fat source, good for your little chocolate cravings. That's £1 from Tesco. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do a massive little ebook, I reckon. I was just thinking about this. I'm going to do a massive ebook and screenshot stuff off the website of shopping, like Tesco shopping website, and put the price and the image next to it, and probably like maybe the calories and like the macros next to it, and do it for a whole, every cheap item of food you could imagine, so people could like, and categorize it into carbs, protein, fats, and veggies. Again, the battery's about to cut out, sorry for this. Really unorganized video this, but hopefully you'll catch me in 2 seconds. God, I'm an amateur, sorry for cutting out again. But I'm squeezing time today. So yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that ebook, and I think that's gonna be so useful for people, and it'll obviously be included in my program which I'm creating, but I'll probably give this out for free just to give you guys some value as well. Really be useful as like a checklist, and like give you ideas what you could use and go and buy if you're going shopping. So like I said, I'll probably categorize it into your free macros and obviously your vitamins and micronutrients, so that'll make it all organized for you. But yeah, like I said, top tips to take away from this video. One, get rid of the excuses that eating healthy is expensive. Buying pre-made meals, like microwave meals, ready meals, flipping fast food, Domino's, takeouts, that's expensive. That's what adds up, guys. Not buying single ingredients. This actually is quite cheap when you look at it, and when you go, this could last, I mean, carrots. I'm not gonna get through a kilo of carrots in a week when I've got all this other veg. Same with the berries, that I use 100 gram per serving. So right there, you've got 10 days worth of berries. Again, with the oats, I use about 100 grams per serving, so you got another 10 days there. Look, honestly, there's so much food there to be used. Weetabixes, I doubt I'd get through all of them in a week if I was like, depending on what my goals were. And just goes to show that you can spread your money quite fast and far. Like, really, you can if you shop smart. And another top tip is buy frozen stuff the majority of the time. You've seen how dirt cheap those chicken breasts were, and there's nothing wrong with them, honest to God. They have a little bit of water and a little bit of sugar injected into them, and I'm talking minuscule amounts. For example, let's just look at the stats. Each chicken breast contains 0.2 grams of sugar. You doubt, that's literally like, go and get a pinch of sugar and sprinkle it on your chicken breast. Nothing to worry about. And yeah, like, you've got to accept when you're on a budget, you've got restricted resources, nothing's gonna be perfect. You've got to just accept that and be like, right, I'd love to have this and this and this, but you know, I've got to make some sacrifices, because quite frankly, my money isn't in order to be able to, and my money isn't allowing me to do both. You've got to accept one or the other, guys, and I know you can shop cheap, and I've just proven it, okay? I'll probably do another video to this where I'd shop even cheaper in the future, just to prove a point. But yeah, pretty happy with that, and I've got a lot of food to get through now, but I'm going to eat all this, like I said, over the coming weeks, and this is legit, guys. If I was to shop as a student or someone who's on a strict budget or fairly strict budget, that's what I would do. So I hope you found that useful. Sorry it's a bit all scattered and I've cut out a few times on you, but I've got a lot of work in the pipeline, and I'm happy that I've come up with this Monday and Friday schedule, if you didn't already know that. Every Monday and Friday now I'm posting a video. I'm going to try and get one out maybe Wednesday, but I'm not committing to the Wednesday, I'm just committing to Monday and Friday. So I've got two videos a week consistently for you guys. And yeah, things are alright, and I hope you guys are alright, and I hope you benefited from this video. And if you have, make sure to drop that like button a hit. Really helps me out more than you can realise. It just helps boost the channel and get the channel out there. And if you haven't already, subscribe. This is fitness the right way and food the right way. Hope you've enjoyed, and I would just like to finish as well, bit of a shit outro, and I'm not even finished yet. Some of the things you might have to buy, I haven't, like, for example, I haven't included ketchup, I haven't included some of the seasoning and stuff, but in my opinion, that would last you like a good like couple of weeks. So I haven't included that because I'm presuming someone would already have that in their cupboard, or they'd have bought it another week, and this is kind of like an average week you'd buy just the necessities basically. So that's that, if you've been wondering where the ketchup and where's stuff like that, salt, pepper, whatever else. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that, and like I said, this is fitness the right way, food the right way, and this is me out. So guys, this is just a quick meal that I've just made now out of all the ingredients I've just bought. I've used some of the greens, the cabbage and the bacon and the beans to create like a warm bacon and bean salad almost, out of the rather than having it cold salad leaves, having the vegetables like that, proper nice. I could also whack a tomato on there if I wanted to, but that just goes to show, look at, and that's took me 3 minutes to make. I literally put, I tell a lie, 4.5 minutes to make, 4.5 for the vegetables, 2 minutes for the bacon roughly, or you could probably cook the bacon at the same time the veg is cooking, and obviously open the can of beans up. But there you go, that's a super high protein, high nutrient dense meal. You could also whack on, you could have a banana afterwards as well to have some carbs, and you get what I'm talking about. So yeah.